What if I told you that the person holding you back isn't your boss, your circumstances, or even your past? It's you, the weaker version of yourself that's been running the show for far too long. But here's the thing, you don't have to live like this anymore. Today, we're going to talk about how to kill that weak version of yourself and step into the person you were always meant to be. Let's get real for a second. Life isn't easy. It throws curveballs, tests your patience, and sometimes feels like it's designed to break you. But here's the secret. The biggest battle you'll ever fight isn't out there in the world, it's inside you. That voice that tells you to quit, to settle, to stay small, that's the weak version of yourself. And if you don't take control, it will keep running your life. But today, we're going to change that. We're going to break down how to identify that weaker version, why it exists, and most importantly, how to overcome it. The weak version of yourself isn't just a bad habit or a lazy day. It's a mindset. It's the part of you that avoids hard decisions, makes excuses, and stays stuck in comfort zones. It's the voice that says, I'll start tomorrow, or I'm not good enough, or this is just how I am. And the scary part, most people don't even realize it's there. They think their struggles are just bad luck or unfair circumstances. But the truth is, the weak version of yourself is the real enemy. It's what keeps you from taking risks, pursuing your dreams, and living up to your full potential. 1. The weak version of yourself is a survival mechanism. Let's talk about why this weaker version of you even exists. It's not there to make your life harder. It's not there to sabotage you. It's there because at one point, it was trying to protect you. Think about it. Back in the day, life was about survival. Taking risks could mean danger. Stepping out of your comfort zone could mean death. Your brain was wired to keep you safe, to keep you alive. And it did a pretty good job. But here's the thing. The world has changed. The dangers we face today aren't the same as they were thousands of years ago. You're not running from predators or fighting for food. But your brain, it hasn't caught up. It's still operating like it's in survival mode. That weak version of yourself, it's still trying to protect you. But here's the problem. It's protecting you from the wrong things. It's protecting you from failure. It's protecting you from rejection. It's protecting you from discomfort. And while those things might feel scary, they're not life-threatening. In fact, they're necessary. You can't grow without failure. You can't learn without rejection. You can't become stronger without discomfort. But your brain doesn't know that. It sees these things as threats, and so it holds you back. That weak version of yourself, it's not evil. It's not trying to ruin your life. It's just doing what it was designed to do. But here's the catch. You're not a caveman anymore. You don't need to live in survival mode. You don't need to let fear dictate your decisions. You have the power to override that weak version of yourself. You have the power to choose growth over safety. But it's not easy. It takes work. It takes awareness. You have to recognize when that weak version of yourself is taking over. You have to notice when it's holding you back, and then you have to make a choice. Are you going to listen to it, or are you going to push past it? Here's the truth. That weak version of yourself will always be there. It's part of being human, but you don't have to let it run the show. You don't have to let it make your decisions. You can acknowledge it. You can understand it, but then you can choose to move forward anyway. Think about it like this. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a cliff. That weak version of yourself is screaming at you to step back. It's telling you it's too dangerous. It's telling you to stay where it's safe. But what if just beyond that cliff is everything you've ever wanted? What if on the other side is the life you've always dreamed of? Are you going to let fear hold you back? Or are you going to take the leap? It's not about ignoring that weak version of yourself. It's about understanding it. It's about recognizing that it's there for a reason. But it's also about realizing that you don't have to listen to it. You can choose to move forward. You can choose to take risks. You can choose to grow. So, the next time that weak version of yourself tries to hold you back, don't fight it. Don't hate it. Just acknowledge it. Say, I see you. I know you're trying to protect me, but I've got this. And then take the next step. 2, the comfort zone is a trap. Let's talk about the comfort zone. It's safe. It's familiar. It's easy. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die. It's where potential gets buried. It's where you settle for less because it feels easier than going for more. Here's the thing. The comfort zone feels good. It feels safe, but nothing grows there. Nothing changes there. If you want to become stronger, smarter, more capable, you have to step outside of it. You have to take risks. You have to face your fears. You have to embrace discomfort. But here's the problem. That weak version of yourself loves the comfort zone. It thrives there. It's where it feels most at home, and it will do everything it can to keep you there. It will tell you that you're fine where you are. It will tell you that you don't need more. It will tell you that it's not worth the risk. But here's the truth. The comfort zone is a trap. It's a prison. And the longer you stay there, the harder it is to leave. You get comfortable, you get complacent. And before you know it, years have gone by and you're still in the same place. Think about it. When was the last time you did something that scared you? When was the last time you took a risk? When was the last time you stepped outside of your comfort zone? If you can't remember, that's a problem. Because growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens outside of it. Here's the thing. Stepping outside of your comfort zone isn't easy. It's uncomfortable. It's scary, but it's also necessary. If you want to grow, if you want to change, if you want to become the best version of yourself, you have to be willing to face that discomfort. Think about it like this. Imagine you're in a room. It's warm, it's cozy, it's safe. But outside that room is everything you've ever wanted. The only problem, the door is locked. And the key, it's on the other side. You have to step outside to get it. That's what the comfort zone is like. It's warm, it's cozy, it's safe. But if you want more, if you want to grow, you have to step outside. You have to face the cold. You have to face the unknown. You have to face the discomfort. And here's the thing. The more you do it, the easier it gets. The first time you step outside of your comfort zone, it's terrifying. But the second time, it's a little less scary. And the third time, even less. Over time, you build confidence, you build resilience, you build strength. But it starts with that first step. It starts with deciding that you're not going to let fear hold you back, that you're not going to let the comfort zone keep you small, that you're going to take risks, that you're going to face your fears, that you're going to grow. So the next time you feel that pull to stay where it's safe, remember this. The comfort zone is a trap. It's a prison. And the only way to break free is to step outside of it. It's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. Because on the other side of that discomfort is everything you've ever wanted. On the other side is the life you've always dreamed of. So take the step, face the fear, embrace the discomfort, and watch yourself grow. 3, excuses are the enemy of progress. Let's talk about excuses. We all make them. I don't have time. I'm not ready. It's too hard. Sound familiar? Excuses are everywhere. They're easy to make. They're comfortable. But here's the thing. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They're the reason you're stuck. They're the reason you're not where you want to be. Think about it. Every time you make an excuse, you're giving yourself permission to stay the same. You're saying, it's not my fault. I can't help it. But here's the truth. It is your fault, and you can help it. Excuses are just a way to avoid responsibility. They're a way to avoid taking action. But here's the problem. When you make excuses, nothing changes. You stay in the same place. You keep doing the same things, and you keep getting the same results. If you want to kill the weak version of yourself, you have to stop making excuses. You have to take responsibility. You have to take action. Let's break it down. Why do we make excuses? Because it's easier than facing the truth. The truth is hard. The truth is uncomfortable. The truth is that you're the one holding yourself back. Not your boss, not your circumstances, not your past. You. But here's the thing. Once you accept that, everything changes. Once you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility, you take back control. You realize that you have the power to change your life. You have the power to make different choices. You have the power to take action. So, how do you stop making excuses? First, you have to recognize them. Pay attention to the stories you tell yourself. Are they true or are they just excuses? Second, you have to challenge them. Ask yourself, is this really why I'm not taking action? Or am I just scared? And third, you have to replace them with action. Instead of saying, okay, I don't have time, say, I'll make time. Instead of saying, I'm not ready, say, I'll start now and figure it out as I go. Instead of saying, no, it's too hard, say, I'll take it one step at a time. Yeah, here's the truth. Excuses are easy. Action is hard. But action is also the only way to move forward, the only way to grow, the only way to change your life. So the next time you catch yourself making an excuse, stop, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what's one thing I can do right now to move forward? It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something. Because every time you take action, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your excuses. You're proving that you're capable of more. So stop making excuses. Start taking action and watch your life change. 4, fear is a liar. Let's talk about fear. It's one of the weak version's favorite tools. It's sneaky, it's persuasive, and it's a liar. Fear tells you that you're not good enough. It tells you that you'll fail. It tells you that people will judge you. But here's the thing, fear is a liar. It exaggerates the risks and downplays the rewards. Think about it. How many times has fear stopped you from doing something? How many times has it told you that you're not ready, that it's too risky, that you'll regret it? And how many of those times were you actually right to be afraid? Here's the truth. Most of the things you're afraid of will never happen. And even if they do, you'll be stronger for facing them. Fear makes everything seem bigger than it is. It makes mountains out of molehills. It makes you see danger where there is none. But here's the thing. Fear isn't always bad. It's there to protect you. It's there to keep you safe, but it's not always right. Just because you're afraid doesn't mean you're in danger. Just because you're afraid doesn't mean you should stop. So how do you deal with fear? First, you have to recognize it. Pay attention to when it shows up. What's it telling you? What's it trying to protect you from? Second, you have to question it. Ask yourself, is this fear based on facts, or is it just my imagination? And third, you have to move forward anyway. Fear will never go away completely, but you don't have to let it stop you. You can feel the fear and do it anyway. Think about it like this. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a diving board. Fear is telling you to step back. It's telling you it's too high. It's telling you you'll get hurt. But what if just beyond that fear is the most incredible feeling of freedom? What if on the other side is the best experience of your life? Are you going to let fear hold you back? Or are you going to take the leap? Here's the truth. Fear is a liar. It tells you that you're not capable, that you're not strong enough, that you're not ready. But the truth is you're more capable than you think. You're stronger than you know, and you're ready right now. So the next time fear tries to hold you back, don't listen. Don't let it win. Take a deep breath. Feel the fear. And then take the next step. Because on the other side of fear is everything you've ever wanted. On the other side is the life you've always dreamed of. So don't let fear lie to you. Don't let it hold you back. Take the leap and watch yourself soar. 5, self-discipline is the key. Let's talk about self-discipline. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's the key to killing the weak version of yourself. Motivation, that comes and goes. Some days you'll feel it, some days you won't. But discipline, that's what keeps you moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. Think about it. How many times have you started something with a burst of motivation, only to give up when it got hard? How many times have you set a goal, only to abandon it when the excitement wore off? Motivation is great, but it's not enough. If you want to make real progress, you need discipline. Here's the thing. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's not about never missing a day. It's about showing up even when it's hard. It's about doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's about staying consistent, even when you want to quit. Let's break it down. Why is discipline so important? Because it's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's what gets you from point A to point B. Without it, you'll never make it. But here's the problem. Discipline is hard. It's not fun. It's not easy. It requires effort. It requires sacrifice. It requires you to do things you don't want to do. But here's the truth. The more you practice discipline, the easier it gets. Think about it like this. Imagine you're building a muscle. At first, it's weak. It's hard to lift even a small weight. But the more you work at it, the stronger it gets. Discipline is the same way. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. So, how do you build discipline? Start small. Set a goal, make a plan, and then stick to it. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be consistent. Here's the truth. Discipline is the key to killing the weak version of yourself. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when it's hard. It's what helps you stay focused, even when you want to quit. It's what gets you to where you want to be. So the next time you don't feel like doing the work, remember this: motivation comes and goes, but discipline, that's what gets the job done. 6, you are the average of the people you surround yourself with. Let's talk about the people in your life, the ones you spend the most time with, the ones you talk to every day, the ones you share your dreams with. Here's the thing, those people, they have a bigger impact on you than you realize. Think about it. If you're surrounded by people who complain, make excuses, and settle for less, what do you think that does to you? It drags you down. It keeps you stuck. It makes it harder to break free from the weak version of yourself. But if you're surrounded by people who push you, challenge you, and believe in you, that's a game changer. Those people lift you up. They inspire you. They make it easier to rise above. Here's the truth. You are the average of the people you surround yourself with. If you want to grow, if you want to change, if you want to become the best version of yourself, you need to surround yourself with the right people. Let's break it down. Why do the people around you matter so much? Because they influence your thoughts, your actions, and your habits. They shape your mindset. They affect your energy. They impact your results. But here's the problem. Most people don't think about this. They don't realize how much the people around them are affecting their lives. They don't realize that they're being pulled down by negative influences. So how do you change this? First, you have to take a hard look at the people in your life. Who's lifting you up? Who's holding you back? Who's helping you grow? Who's keeping you stuck? And second, you have to make some tough decisions. If someone is dragging you down, you have to distance yourself. It's not easy. It's not fun, but it's necessary. Here's the truth. You can't grow if you're surrounded by people who don't believe in growth. You can't change if you're surrounded by people who resist change. You can't become the best version of yourself if you're surrounded by people who settle for less. So the next time you're feeling stuck, take a look at the people around you. Are they helping you grow, or are they holding you back? If they're holding you back, it's time to make a change. Surround yourself with people who push you. Surround yourself with people who challenge you. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. Because when you surround yourself with the right people, everything changes. It becomes easier to rise above. It becomes easier to grow. It becomes easier to become the best version of yourself. Failure is not the end. Failure scares most people. It stops them in their tracks. It makes them question everything. But failure is not the end. It's not a dead-end street. It's not a sign that you're not capable. Failure is feedback. It's life's way of teaching you. It's a lesson wrapped in temporary disappointment. And if you can see it for what it really is, you'll never be afraid of it again. Think about a child learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they cry, but they get up again. They don't stop trying just because they fell a few times. They don't tell themselves, maybe walking just isn't for me. They keep going. They take one more step, then another. And one day, they're running. That's how progress works. That's how success is built. The weak version of yourself fears failure. It takes failure personally. It thinks failure means you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes. But that's a lie. Failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're learning. It means you're in the process of growing. The weak version of yourself will tell you to give up. The strong version of yourself will tell you to get up. So what do you do when you fail? Do you complain? Do you make excuses? Do you blame others? Or do you take responsibility, learn the lesson, and move forward? The choice is yours. Every successful person you admire has failed. Some of them have failed in ways most people wouldn't recover from. But they kept going. They understood that failure wasn't the enemy. The real enemy is fear. The real enemy is staying down when you fall. The real enemy is letting failure define you instead of using it to refine you. Failure teaches you things success never could. Success is wonderful, but it doesn't push you to grow. It doesn't test your character. It doesn't make you stronger. Failure does. Failure forces you to reevaluate. It forces you to adapt. It forces you to become better. And when you become better, success follows. The key is to detach your identity from failure. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. Your worth is not defined by how many times you fall, but by how many times you get back up. People quit too soon. They give up too easily. They hit one obstacle and decide it's over. But the truth is, the breakthrough usually comes right after the breakdown. The moment when you think you can't go any further is usually the moment when you're closest to a breakthrough. So, if you're struggling right now, if you're failing right now, don't stop. Keep going, keep learning, keep improving. If you want to kill the weak version of yourself, stop fearing failure. Start embracing it. See it as a tool. See it as a guide. See it as the price you pay for growth, because the only real failure is quitting. Small wins build momentum. People dream big. They set massive goals. They talk about transformation, about changing their lives, and then they do nothing. Why? Because big changes feel overwhelming. They don't know where to start. They don't believe they can do it. They feel stuck before they even begin. But here's the secret. Success doesn't happen in one big leap. It happens through small, consistent actions. It happens one step at a time. It happens when you focus on small wins. The weak version of yourself wants everything now. It wants instant results. It wants the reward without the effort. And when it doesn't get it, it gives up. But the strong version of yourself understands that progress is built brick by brick. It understands that small victories lead to big victories. Let's say you want to get in shape. If you try to change everything overnight, you'll burn out. If you go from never working out to trying to run 5 miles a day, you'll quit. If you try to eat perfectly after years of bad habits, you'll fall off track. That's why most people fail. They aim too big, too fast. But what if you started with small wins? What if you committed to walking 10 minutes a day? What if you drank more water? What if you made one small, healthy choice each day? Those small wins would start building momentum. They would create confidence. They would make you feel like progress is happening. And before you know it, you'd be running those 5 miles without even thinking about it. It works the same way with anything. Want to start a business? Start with one customer. Want to read more? Start with 1 page a day. Want to become more disciplined? Start by making your bed every morning. Small wins may seem insignificant, but they create a powerful force, momentum. And momentum is what keeps you going when motivation fades. The weak version of yourself wants perfection. The strong version of yourself values progress, because perfection is an illusion. Progress is real. The weak version of yourself says, this isn't enough. The strong version of yourself says, this is a step in the right direction. And every step in the right direction matters. Most people give up because they don't see results fast enough. But what they don't realize is that results come from consistent action over time. Not a week, not a month, but years of showing up, improving, adjusting. That's how greatness is built. That's how you become the best version of yourself. Celebrate your small wins. Don't ignore them. Don't downplay them. Acknowledge them. Because every time you celebrate a small win, you reinforce the habit of success. You train your mind to focus on progress instead of perfection. And that's how you keep going. Momentum is your best friend. It makes hard things easier. It makes discipline automatic. It turns effort into habit. And once you have momentum on your side, success becomes inevitable. So, what's the first small win you can create today? What's one thing you can do right now to move forward? Don't overthink it. Just do it. One step, one action, one win. That's how you build momentum. That's how you create success. That's how you kill the weak version of yourself and step into your full potential. Your mindset determines your reality. Your mindset shapes everything. How you think is how you live. If you see the world as dark and unfair, it will be. If you see obstacles as impossible, they will be. But if you choose to believe in opportunity, if you choose to believe in growth, you will find it. Life is not just about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. Some people wake up and tell themselves, this is just how life is. There's nothing I can do. And so they stay the same. They stay stuck. They let life push them around. But then there are others. They wake up and say, I can change. I can grow. I can do better. And so they do. The difference is not luck. The difference is not talent. The difference is mindset. Your mind is the filter through which you see everything. If the filter is dirty, everything looks bad. If the filter is clear, everything looks possible. This is why two people can be in the same situation, but have completely different experiences. One person sees a challenge and gives up. The other sees a challenge and gets excited. Why? Mindset. Success doesn't start with money. It doesn't start with talent. It starts with belief. If you believe you can, you're halfway there. If you believe you can't, you've already lost. Most people don't even try because they've already convinced themselves it's impossible. They've decided in their mind that they're not capable. And so they never find out what they're truly capable of. The weak version of yourself will always find excuses. It will tell you that you're not smart enough. It will tell you that you don't have the right connections. It will tell you that life is unfair, that others have it easier, that success is for other people but not for you. And the moment you believe that, you make it true. But the strong version of yourself sees things differently. It sees problems as opportunities. It sees setbacks as lessons. It sees failure as part of the process. It doesn't waste time complaining. It doesn't waste time blaming. It focuses on what can be done. It focuses on solutions. It focuses on progress. Changing your mindset is not easy. It takes effort. It takes awareness. It takes making a decision every single day to think differently. But once you do, everything changes. You stop seeing problems. You start seeing possibilities. You stop seeing roadblocks. You start seeing stepping stones. You stop waiting for things to get better. You start making them better. So what do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about the world? Because whatever you believe will become your reality. Choose your beliefs wisely. They will determine everything. You have to choose growth over comfort. There comes a moment in life when you have to decide. Do you stay the same or do you grow? Do you choose comfort or do you choose progress? Because you can't have both. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is hard. But staying the same is even harder in the long run. The weak version of yourself wants comfort. It wants to stay safe. It wants to avoid failure, avoid risk, avoid difficulty. It tells you to take the easy path. It whispers, you don't have to do this today. You can do it tomorrow. And so tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next year. And before you know it, life has passed you by. But the strong version of yourself knows better. It knows that comfort is an illusion. It knows that if you stay comfortable for too long, you get stuck. You stop learning. You stop improving. You stop moving forward. And in the end, you lose. Look around. The people who are winning in life, the ones who are living the way you want to live, they didn't get there by staying comfortable. They got there by choosing growth, by making sacrifices, by doing the hard things when they didn't feel like it, by pushing through fear and doubt. Growth is not convenient. It's not easy, but it is necessary. Every time you push yourself past your limits, you get stronger. Every time you face a challenge, instead of running from it, you grow. Every time you choose discipline over laziness, you move closer to success. The problem is that most people want growth without discomfort. They want the reward without the work. They want the result without the process. But that's not how it works. The only way to grow is to stretch yourself, to step into the unknown, to do things that scare you. It's not about talent. It's not about intelligence. It's about choice. Do you choose comfort or do you choose growth? Because the decision you make today will determine where you end up tomorrow. It's easy to quit when things get tough. It's easy to say, this is too hard, but nothing worth having comes easy. Every successful person has faced moments of doubt, moments of struggle, moments where they wanted to quit. The difference is they didn't. They kept going, they kept pushing, and that's why they made it. So ask yourself, are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to do the hard things? Are you willing to sacrifice who you are today for who you could become tomorrow? Because that's what it takes. Every day you have a choice. You can stay the same or you can grow. You can take the easy path or you can take the path that leads to greatness. One leads to regret, the other leads to fulfillment. Choose wisely. Here's the hard truth. You can't kill the weak version of yourself overnight. It's a process. It takes time, effort, and a lot of self-awareness. But every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you face your fears and push through the discomfort, you're taking a step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. So, let's recap. The weak version of yourself is a mindset, a collection of fears, excuses, and limiting beliefs that hold you back. But you don't have to live like this anymore. By understanding where it comes from, challenging your comfort zone, and choosing growth over comfort, you can kill that weak version of yourself and step into your full potential.